Hello, my name's James Swift. Welcome to Studio Talks.
I'm Josh McNorton, and our guest today is
Rebecca. Hello, Clarke.
Hey, Rebecca, are you okay?
Yes, I'm all right. I'm just at my grandma's, actually, in a corner of the house.
Oh, nice. How are you doing in the lockdown, and what advice do you have for people?
Okay, not too bad. I think I'm quite used to having a weird schedule anyway. So I don't know, being locked down just seemed like, oh, okay, so we adapt to this now. It was kind of okay. I think just it's taking each day as it comes, isn't it? I'm sure that's what everyone says, but I think that's all you can do is just go with it as much as possible. Find a rhythm for yourself. Try and find out what it is that makes you happy and what rhythm. Whether that's sleeping until 12 and watching films all day, that might be your rhythm. But like whatever it is to get yourself through, do it. Apart from drugs. And
don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, people.
Don't do drugs on a podcast. Yeah. That's it.
We should say that in every episode. No, just tell everyone not to do drugs.
Yeah, that's my new sign off. I'll see y'all later. And don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Wash your hands. Don't do drugs. Yeah.
What's your history with theatre, and how did you get involved with it?
I can't remember how it started because I think I was very, very little when I started dancing and showing off in general. So yeah, I started as a dancer, and then I did do 3 years in musical theatre, which I'll never get back. But that was what it was. Lots of like military camp style musical theatre training, and then I worked as a dancer. As a professional dancer for a while, and I still do, and then it's kind of went rogue, started writing my own stuff, formed a theatre company. That's comedy. That's how I'd say the trajectory went in no particular direction.
So would you say that there's always been a mixture with you of doing music and theatre together? Yeah,
I think so. I think not necessarily always consciously, but everything that I've done does involve music. Everything I start, it might start out in a very, might start in a very contemporary theatre, blah, blah, blah kind of way, but there'll always end up being a musical element, and there'll always end up being some kind of physical element as well. Like dance and singing, but not musical theatre. Let's not call it musical theatre.
What was the origin of Moon Cup Theatre?
Well, we formed just after 2016 Brexit referendum, and I'd been back in Liverpool for maybe a year. I think I'd been back, and sort of it was a bunch of liberal, lefty, radical. Yeah, my friend Alice basically asked me if I'd be interested in making something for a theatre festival, a Hope Street Theatre on Verge Festival, and that just then spawned this whole chain of events where it was a bunch of us ended up who'd worked together previously, ended up forming a company, and then we wanted to make something that was very much our sort of response to the Brexit referendum. So we ended up making a show called A Void, that was the symbol.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask about. Like, I really, really loved that because it was, we had to go on a coach, and that was part of the play, wasn't it? Like, where we had to go around witness and stuff. That was really fun.
And that was amazing because that was our first production we'd ever done together. Even as like friends, like forming a company, it was the first thing we'd ever done together as a group, and we were really lucky. We got Arts Council funding, and then were able. Every single time we turned up to a new venue, and there was just this massive bus outside, and we were just like, "What are we doing?" But it was great. It was great, and it was a really. I'm so glad that happened because it gave us just like a force to like rock it up our bums in terms of as a and what we stood for and what we wanted to say politically and how we wanted to express ourselves. So yeah, it was great. And we had a bus, which was great. Yeah.
So Josh, it was basically where they did like, it was like a little bit in the hall, and we did like, they did a bit of the play there, and then we'd all leave. Oh no, it was all in the chandelier room to start, wasn't it? And then we had to go we literally left the studio and got into a coach, and then drove around the corner where they carried on the play and stuff. And then and wasn't it like a big, this is where we're going to go to this, and it was the studio, like we just pulled up.
The studio, The whole point was it was based around like the idea of, it was called A Void, and the whole thing was like, how do you fill a void, and how does the government fill a void, and how do businesses fill a void for people, and it was basically this pyramid scheme that was this great enterprise, and we tried to like basically indoctrinate everyone into the cult of A Void and told them they were going to this amazing place, but we ended up back at the studio, and then ended up like trapping them in the studio and robbing them blind, classic.
It's good. It's really good. I like that one.
Sounds good, yeah. What advice would you give to younger listeners who are trying to pursue acting?
I actually wrote stuff down on this because I was like, this is an important question. So I've written, to be a good actor, you must be a good adventurer, God, in your own life. Like acting is just, if it's acting or it's theatre or whatever, that is an aspect of who you are. But it doesn't mean that you have to fit to industry standards and abide by all the rules. And obviously it's just an exceptionally elitist system anyway, that it's just find out who you are, but you don't have to do that through any special means. You can just go through your life and experience things as they go, and the more you experience, better performer you'll be anyway. And just like it's like, yeah, just never forget to play. Like that's the reason that we're in theatre, is because we like to mess around, like we like to play and explore and all the rest of it. So never forget that that's what it is about, and don't be scared, don't get too scared by expectation or blah, 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 blah. And I've written, things come from things. So yeah, make your own stuff. If it's not coming to you at that given point. And that's why I think the studio is great, actually, because it just gives everyone a bit of a sanctuary to express whatever the hell you want to make. Make a mess if you want, And, but yeah, things come from things. Do it yourself if it's not coming to you. Have a ball, have a party, don't do drugs. That's it.
Would you say that there's an element of people, I don't want to say taking it too seriously because that sounds like I'm talking about a whole new thing, but like forgetting to have fun while acting?
I think it's really easy to forget to have fun. Like through my own experience, I was just a kid who loved to flounce around, sing, dance, all the rest of it. And that then gets taken and it gets monetized, and you spend lots and lots of money. You can spend lots and lots of money, and as soon as you spend lots and lots of money, things become very serious, because it's like,
yeah, definitely,
and then you've got to, and there's a whole industry, and you've got to fit to a certain standard, and it's not fun anymore. And I think as soon as it stops being fun, that's when you're in the bad waters, you're in the bad territory, and you need to, like, rewinding is a great thing to do, because it calms you right down. I lived in London for 4 years, and I was so glad that I did that, and I was so glad that I got to have that time and those experiences. But I was sick at the end. I was just sick.
Yeah.
So and it was great. And I came back to the Northwest, and actually, like, that, taking that pressure off and just being around people as well who were there to play and have fun and explore possibilities, that reminds you why you do it, and you actually make better work in that environment, I think. So.
I suppose you kind of mentioned this earlier, but what would you say your history with music is?
It's kind of just through my life has always been there. I don't remember a time there wasn't music in my life. Just as I've got older, I've become more aware of how much I've used music in the past, especially when you move away from home or things like that. Like, I always relied on music completely to sort of like, just to even get me through the day. Like, I take my phone in the shower, like music follows me wherever I go. And I just think it's an amazing form. I just think it's one of the most human things we can do is connect to music, because it can take you wherever you want to go. It can help you when you feel down. It can bring you up when you feel bad. No swear words. And yeah, and I just think it's a communal thing as well. And when everyone, it's probably like, I like poetry, but more relatable than poetry. Like, music
Definitely.
is there for everyone. And
yeah,
so
I think when say you're like with a bunch of people and one song comes on that everyone knows and everyone just starts singing, it's such a mad connection, such a good feeling.
Yeah, completely. And it takes you, and it's like, and that unifies you immediately, and it calms you down. I think it calms you down. It's like, oh, okay, we're all on the same page. we can all sit in the studio and play some music, even though none of us can play. Not you two, obviously exceptional, but like, I can't play the guitar. But you're welcomed in, and everyone's singing a stupid song, and it's like, right, cool, we're relaxed now, great, yeah. It's an amazing tool. It's just, it's not even a tool, like, that seems like too strong a word, like, it's just a human connection. I don't know. Yeah.
This is a question for both of you. Do you have a song, like a specific song in your head that like makes you think of that, where it's like makes you think of what Josh has said about once a song comes on and you're with your friends, it's just kind of like, oh my god, this song's on. Do you have a song like that?
I do, yeah. It's Gold for me. By
It's which
Spandy,
one?
Gold
Oh,
by Spandy, yeah. Just,
Oh right, I know that one. I was like, I don't know that song, and I was like, oh yeah, I do.
you clearly do know the song, Jane.
I do know the song.
We're waiting for that connection. James is like, no.
I'll say it's the delay. It's fine.
It was the delay. Do I have that song? Probably anything by Fleetwood Mac. Like anything by Fleetwood Mac.
I've been going.
Yeah.
I had a Fleetwood Mac week the other week.
Was it?
Everyone in my house was like, "Oh, stop, please!" But like, yeah, mine's.
Yeah, I have the same thing with like just totally play it until everyone's sick of it. Yeah, that's my style.
Well, everyone loves it because it's either one or the two. Everyone's sick of it, or everyone loves it. Yeah. Mine is, and I know Josh is a really big fan of this song. It's "Welcome to the Black Parade" by My Chemical Romance.
I don't know that.
It's a proper emo song.
Is it? Do you feel very like, oh yeah, feel it?
The only party I've ever been was like
the next little local
party. Yeah, it was like when was it? Was it at the establishment? I don't know. I don't think it was. It might have been.
I like that you say the full name, not abbreviated like everyone else. The Estabo.
Do people call it the Estabo?
Yeah, Estabo.
Or the Estabby?
The Estabby.
I think it was at the establishment. I'm not sure, but it was a friend of a friend's birthday party, and like the entire time I was like, I hate this. Like I hate social. Ugh. But like the minute that song came on, everyone was like, oh my god, and like it instantly. Yeah, so that song reminds me of that.
Yeah. Each to their own.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start the studio sings?
The same things we were just talking about then, really. Yeah, just the idea of, I just love group singing. And for me as well, I've got a weird relationship with singing, because in the same way that I was saying before, like, don't get institutionalized, because I just love singing. I just love to sing. And then I went through training, and then I didn't want to sing anymore because everything felt too important. It felt too, like, I would never get up on a karaoke, even though, like, as a kid, you wouldn't be able to get me off the karaoke. But like, once I'd been trained, I was like, oh God, no, like, you know, it had to be perfect. And it's just that horrible sense. And it's like, that's what happens to most people without having to go through training. I think with singing, at least anyway, like, most people have that point where they go, oh my God, like, I'm not going to sing in front of anyone ever. And that's just, for me, it's just kind of, it's sad that we do that to each other as humans, when actually, like you say, when we're all a bit drunk, or we're all in the Estabo or whatever.
The Estabby, please. The Estabby.
The Estabby. It's gone now, R.I.P. Estabo.
Estabo sounds like the Gestapo. But yeah, it's like having that freedom, and when you sing together as a group, you can find that again, because obviously you're not feeling so self-conscious, and you can have that lightness about you. And I was working as well with Refugee Action at the time, and I was really, a lot of them were placed in witness, and I was thinking that maybe it might be an opportunity. This never happened, but it might be an opportunity to bring some of those guys in who perhaps didn't have great English, but everyone can unify through a bit of singing. So that was the inspiration behind it, and it was just, and obviously for anyone local who just wanted to have a sing without the pressure of like having to be pitch perfect on things, or really memorize harmonies. And there's a lot of choirs, and that's great. Like, if it's your thing and that's really your thing, go to a choir where it's regimented and you're in 3 octaves continuously. Whereas I just kind of wanted something that was for everyone, anyone can come and just sing and have a go, and there's no pressure on it. Yeah.
I think that relates a lot to what we were saying before about acting, where I think a lot of people think that a lot of people forget to have fun with it, I think. And I think with singing specifically, because there's like, when you go deep into it, there's like notation, and you've got to work out which note you're supposed to be singing. You forget to just go, I'm here to have a laugh, like I'm here to enjoy myself. Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
How do you get into the frame of mind to lead the choir, and what advice would you give to people who both want to lead or be part of a choir?
Well, in all honesty, well, in the last few weeks, absolutely nothing, because I just put Zoom on, which is bad practice on my part. But in general, because I normally I'm getting the training from Liverpool, but I just put music on and just kind of get myself in a place where I feel like I want to sing. That's kind of the place that I want to be in. I want to be in a place of play rather than too serious. Okay, we're going to be a singing teacher now, because that's not what it's about for me. Yeah, so just showing up is part of it. And I'd say anyone who wants to do that or wants to become, obviously, you need to know your stuff and you need to have your background of experience or whatever, but you don't need to bring that all with you all the time, and just be willing to adapt to the situation, because sometimes there'll be things, sometimes there's things where I feel like I've made a mashup and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to sound great, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And just be willing to be like, actually, maybe they're not responding so much to that song that I love, and go with what the group wants as well, and feel it out. So, and just to have that, like I say, element of play, element of fun about it. Don't take it too seriously, because as soon as you take singing too seriously, you can't sing. And that's genuinely the truth.
Completely
you
agree
can't
with that.
actually physically sing. Yeah.
It's the same with most musical instruments, where I went off guitar for a very long time because I thought, I don't know how to play it as well as other people. And instead of, because the idiotic thing is, if I learn, then you know what I mean? Like, if I keep playing, then I'd be as good. But like, I keep going, no, I'm not as good, so I'm going to stop and starting, if that makes sense. So I think it's with music.
Those little hurdles puts you off, puts you right off.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm sorry. So, what advice would you give to people who want to be part of a choir?
So, anyone who wants to be part of a choir, I'd say, go off your own personal experience. Obviously, like you say, if you're a seasoned singer and you've been in many choirs, then perhaps go for one that is going to stretch you harmonically and things like that. But if you're somebody who just liked to sing as a kid or as a teenager, or perhaps was in a choir as at school or whatever, then I think, I'm not trying to sell the Studio Sings, but like something like the Studio Sings, or something that's very open, friendly environment, that's the kind of one you want to get involved with, because pressure's off. Yeah. That's
the thing with the Studio Sings, where, and I think this has been essentially the tagline for it from the minute it started, where it doesn't take itself too seriously. If it's just a laugh, isn't it?
Even one moment, if you take yourself too seriously, in like when we've done performances and things, and I've been like, right, okay, so we've got to get this. As soon as that happens, it goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So, as soon as we've got no expectations for it, we suddenly everyone's singing. 3 parts are coming out. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
They can find some singing videos and things, I think, from the studio, Twitter, Facebook, and that. Facebook and that. And then Moon Cup Theatre, the same. We're on Instagram, Facebook. I'm
really looking forward to the day where I say, or even one of us says, how do people find you online? And they go, no, I'm not online. And then that's the end of the...
I'm so close to that, James. Yeah. So close. I've just literally, actually, this weekend deleted Facebook off my phone.
I deleted Facebook for a week and then instantly needed it. And I was like, I need this. I said this in the last episode. It just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that when I went through my last breakup. I just deleted everything.
But cold turkey's a risk, though. Like, cold turkey is that's why it's cold turkey.
I've got everything back now. Like,
yeah.
Like 2 weeks, I think I lasted.
Little bits. Just take it away and.
Yeah. Mine was exactly a week, because I deleted it, and then a week later I was like, it's been a week since I've had Facebook, I'm good. And then I think later that day I reinstalled it. Thank you for doing this. It's been absolutely great. Really enjoyed this one. It's been good.
Oh yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, thank you very much.
And yeah, I'll see you all later. And don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs in lockdown. Rule number 1.
See you soon.